All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to Transportation and Public Safety Budget. We will open the budget recommendation on Board of Indigent Defense Services. All right. So I will first of all entertain a motion to accept the governor's recommendation
2023.
for 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee adopt the governor's recommended budget for 2023 for the Board of Indigent Defense Services.
I don't see anything particularly in 23 that popped out at me. Second. Is there discussion on 23? Representative Hauser.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Merle's not here, so I can't ask Merle. Okay, hey, is the enhancements for the two new areas in 23 or 24?
Yes, Chairman, they are in 24.
All right, thank you.
Anything further on FY23? Okay. Well, all in favor of going with the governor's recommendation at FY23, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. All right. Moving on to FY24. And I would like to see, after hearing testimony yesterday, I think it's important on page 10 of the budget, enhancement number 3, Public Defender Office. I think adding in the 3.8 million in FY24 is important and sounds like it's needed, but I will open up for discussion on that. Or, well, I suppose, let's open the FY24. Could I get a motion to go with the governor's recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we approve the governor's recommended budget for 2024 for bids.
All right. Now, in my opinion, I think we should add in the enhancement.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Representative Hauser.
Let's see, which enhancements are you doing? Just the one that the number 3 that says enhancement public defender office service of under Cherokee County and Wyandotte County positions.
So that would be the one enhancement outside of what the governor's recommend.
Okay, so we're still going to do the assigned county caseload adjustment on page 11 because that's in her recommendation.
That would be correct.
So really, I mean, did she not recommend the Wyandotte and Cherokee County thing? She didn't recommend those? All right. And I agree with the chair totally.
Any further discussion? All right. Well, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. That is our recommendation for FY24. All right. Could we get a second on the amendment? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. There's our recommendation for FY24. All right. We will close the budget recommendation on Indigent Defense Services and move on to KBI. Okay. Yes. Could we get a motion as amended?
I move that the committee approve the 2024 bids budget as amended.
One more time. All in favor? Yep. Delberdang second. All in favor? All opposed? All right. Now we have finished FY24. We will close that budget and move on to KBI's budget recommendation. Okay, we'll open it up. FY23. Could I get a motion to go with the governor's recommendation in FY23? Yeah, we'll have a motion and then open it up for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that the committee approve the governor's recommended budget for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation for 2023.
Did we get a second? Second by Representative Hauser. Okay, open it up for discussion.
Here yesterday, they were talking about they did not have enough money to cover even Western Kansas, and things had been taken out. You know, with fentanyl coming over and meth and coming over by the truckload, why don't we give them what they need? I mean, it's our children it's our future, and we're haggling over, a few $1,000,000 that could save hundreds of lives. I don't understand why we're taking stuff out of the budget. We should be adding a lot of money to their budget so they can compete and hire people and try to stop some of this stuff. This is serious stuff. We're losing our kids to this. We should be adding money to this. I'm a very conservative farmer, but when it comes to losing our children, I think we've screwed up. I think we need to add more money and give them what they need if we have to have them come back and list what we need. This isn't funny. This is lives. This is people's lives. These people are going to funerals, and we're haggling over cutting their budget and not giving them what they need. I think we're making a terrible mistake.
So through discussions, I'll just say I don't think we plan on taking any money out. The 4.3 million that they're asking for is every year cumulative for the next 5 years. So 5 years from now, it'll be 20 plus million every year going forward. And I do believe there will be an amendment from Representative Hoy that will go over a little bit of that.
That's enough. Do you think they have enough to do their job if they cover the whole state?
I don't know if I mean the agency's not here.
We don't know. We do know they need more money. That's all we know. We don't know how much. We don't know how much that we should be appropriating them.
So what I will say is they kind of listed it by priority. Number 1 was fully accepted. Number 2 was partially accepted, and then number 3 was the surge program. And so it was down their list a little bit. And I think we're giving them the priorities, the first and second priority that they need, and then we're going to talk about next year and moving on about going with the surge program.
Same thing about next year too.
Any further discussion on FY23? Okay. All right. Well, if there's no further discussion on FY23, all in favor of passing the governor's recommendation on FY23, say aye. Opposed? It appears the ayes have it. All right. We are going with the governor's recommendation on FY23. Moving to FY24. Could I get a motion to accept the governor's recommendation on FY24?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee pass out the governor's recommended budget for 2024 for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation.
All right. So we heard in their testimony.
Second.
We heard in their testimony that the Great Bend Laboratory HVAC replacement, they were asking for that. The governor did not recommend that, but said that they recommend looking for ARPA money, and they were denied the ARPA money. They told us during their testimony. I would like to ask the revisor: is that 910,000 just for the HVAC? Okay. Yeah. In my opinion, I think the 910,000 SGF to replace their HVAC system seems like that is desperately needed. And since they were turned away with ARPA funds, I would think we should go ahead and add that in. Discussion on that? Could I get a motion? Yeah.
I had a question for you. Where's this 900,000 at in this budget? I'm looking on here. Can you point me to a page?
Yeah, it's page 37 under FY24 capital improvements
Thank you.
under the Great Bend Laboratory HVAC. Representative Delberding.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Specific to this one, would that not fall under the building budgets that you and I both sit on versus this committee?
Joint Building Committee hears all capital improvement budgets and provides recommendations to House Appropriations and Senate Ways and Means. The Senate committees and House Budget committees still review capital improvements themselves and also make recommendations.
Okay, do we have a motion to add that in? Okay, Representative Bloom, do we have a second? Okay, very good. Is there all in favor of adding that in? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Any further discussion or amendments? Representative Hoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have similar concerns, reading through the information requested through the Surge Initiative, but also take it very seriously that these are enhancements. It is adding to our budget. And so I do have proviso language that is ready for this, but I'm going to you can hand it out, but I am going to have a change because I think there's a way maybe that we as a committee can add this language in to get more information and study this over the next year. And then the current folks can come and present this information and we can look at what are some of the causes, collect some data analysis, and then have better information to direct that funding through that initiative. Happy to answer any further questions about it, but it would be striking. So it would be striking the first part of the first sentence, so that would start on add proviso language, directing the agency to submit a report on violent crimes to the House Transportation and Public Safety Budget Committee by January 1st, 2025. Then it outlines some of the data analysis, including but not limited to. So if they want to provide more information beyond the violent crime statistics, also looking at the child safety, fentanyl, illicit drugs, that would be welcome in the report as well.
Any discussion on the proviso language? Representative Hauser.
Thank you. How did you come about that number?
Well, I originally, so if we look at the testimony provided to us from KBI, that was the request for violent crime. But again, I've decided to not propose at this time that we add in the FTE since it's an ongoing enhancement request. But it's something that I'm interested in doing. But I want to understand like why, kind of get a basis for why is this not only costing us lives but costing us more money, and is there more information that we can have to make to dedicate those resources to keep our community safe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Delberding.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm trying to figure out is this really going after the violent crimes, or are we going after people who carry valid concealed carry permits, and it's just an anti-gun law?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I'm happy to answer that question.
Representative Hoy.
I think that it's helpful to know are most of the perpetrators carrying illegal guns? How did they procure them? Because if we, I mean, for all we know, this is all going through illegal gun situations, or is it young people stealing guns out of cars? Like, how has this increased? And is it even, how many of these violent crimes are involving firearms? I think we need a better picture of what is causing us to be so far above the national average when it relates to violent crime, but we just don't know some of this information.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Representative Hoy, but now that we've taken out the $841,860 and the 5 FTEs, this is simply asking for a report from the agency.
Yes, this proviso language is just directing further information about violent crime in Kansas, and again, inviting any additional information provided. And hopefully, when they come back next year, we can have some more data to go off of if they want to continue to request this type of enhancement for additional resources.
Representative Delberding.
Mr. Chair, for the second time. And this is truly a curiosity question on me. But after the recent rules that we just approved a couple weeks ago or whatever, where we're adding 841,000 plus to special or SGF, does PAYGO apply to this? And if so, where's the funds coming from?
So,
and that might be a revisor question. But.
Sure. So Representative Hoy has struck that. So she is only bringing the report. So if we pass this, the only thing that will go on is telling the agency we would like a report next year. That the 841 has been struck and the 5 FTEs.
That's just.
Yep, Representative White.
In the initial paragraph there, it says add 841,808 SGF and 5.0 full-time employee special agents as part of the surge initiative for violent crime. Is that going to include that they would be working on drug crimes as well, like fentanyl sales, or if they're gangs that are selling that out on the street?
Mr. Chair, I do want to clarify with everyone, just I think we all know how time gets away from us here. I just didn't have time to get a revision of the proviso language and having some discussions and realizing, the amount of that it takes to try to add FTE when other organizations do that. That the additional funding in FTE is not a part of this proviso. It is asking for this report, and then hopefully we'll have better information should this initiative come to us again next year, so we can really responsibly direct those resources.
You're reading it correctly. Initially, it was in there, but when she submitted it at the beginning, it's now struck.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Representative Grossman.
This is a question for research. Are you able to obtain all this information that's being asked? Have you looked at it?
That would be up to the agency to provide it. This would be language put into the appropriation bill for the agency to provide this information to the legislature and to legislative research.
Anything further on the proviso? Okay. Did we have a second on the proviso? No second. Okay. All right. Moving on to we're back on FY24 budget, and we have not put in the HVAC. Have we got the we did get the motion for that? Okay. Well, then do we have any further discussion at all on FY24? All right. Well, all in favor of passing FY24 as amended, say aye. Opposed? All right. Well, that will close the budget hearing on KBI, and we will meet tomorrow for some more budget hearings. Budget hearings. All right, we're adjourned.